Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me for this oracle card reading. You're welcome to stay with me throughout this whole experience or choose to go straight to the message. I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and bring your hands to your heart space. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Grounding with the support of the earth beneath you. And opening to the sky above you. May this message be imbued with the energy of Reiki, charging it with universal love and light for the highest good of all that is. All right, today's inspiration is coming from the practice of allowing and surrendering. So simply arriving here, felt intuitively called to these decks to simply be an open channel in receiving what Spirit would like to bring into this space, the message that's here for us. And so let's begin surrendering it to what Spirit would like us to focus on that is in support of our highest good. So focusing on the trust that comes with allowing and receiving. Choosing to focus in that space of energy. And choosing to focus on what is here to support and encourage and support and encourage our growth. Okay, we have the card of speed. This is coming through as like the Wheel of Fortune. It's like the thing that's coming through is like it's a little challenging to articulate, but it's like this speed of alignment that is in natural flow with your frequency when you let go of full control and allow surrendering. And there's a fear around that. It's like the fear of success. And there's also this clarity coming through about, I'm just going to put it out there and then see if I can try to ground more of what's coming through. But it's so funny because as I was saying that, trying to invite you to know that you're going to be supported in how I explain something, I completely lost track of what I was going to say. And so I'm in this moment of reflecting on that. But there's this fear of success that comes from the speed and excitement of when you're in alignment. Oh, here we go. And the body is kind of remembering, it's kind of freaking out, remembering past ways of how that speed and alignment into light and success came in and not being able to sustain it. And what Spirit is here saying is the encouragement is you have been tending. You've been tending so much to your self-care and to really being with feelings. And you're ready. And the activation, the speed of the good fortune that's upon you is sustainable and it's safe for you to receive it because your body is able and ready to sustain that kind of frequency, right? It's almost like retiring the victimhood narrative, the narrative of suffering and everything has to be hard in order to be worthy of in it, as the paradigm of like work hard to receive your reward. And there's like this spinning, like almost like a salad spinner kind of energy, where that is no longer a really viable belief because your body can't sustain that. Your body can't sustain pushing and grinding and the frequency of believing that you're not good enough to have, or that you have to prove to have, or that you, once you have, you'll feel guilty or shame or whatever the feelings that come up. There's like a spinning out of that energy. These leaves are coming through right now in that moment of like, and these branches of like, the season of fall is coming through right now in this energy for that, of like, that needs to that is letting go. It needs to be naturally released because it's no longer your energy. So the story also has to leave because you're supporting and sustaining good fortune. There's also energy that's coming through just with the colors and the mark making. Just in this moment, it's symbolizing just a wide range of emotions and just allowing them to be, knowing that, you know, you've processed some difficult emotions and you've integrated them and your body is able and ready to sustain this higher frequency because you have allowed. There's also like the shape of the heart that's kind of wanting to come through with that mark making. There's like a heart shape that's trying to appear here in this reading, to emerge, of like your heart, your tender heart has integrated. You have gone through your life experiences and you have healed and mended these life experiences. Light codes want to come in, like the karma that you were intended to experience during this life. And karma as simply that, the lessons and experiences that you came here for, not karma in a sense of like a punishment and reward system. And I have received that kind of concept from Lady in the Forest 444. So if you're familiar with that channel, that's where this that's where that credit comes from. But I once I heard that, it made so much sense, and it's similar to what's coming through energetically with this, like the old way of thinking of karma, or the old way of striving for success, that pushing and hard work, and only through that can we then receive the life we want to experience. That is an old, outdated way of thinking and way of being, and the frequency doesn't align with you either. And so just knowing that you're ready, your body is ready to sustain being in alignment. And there's a speed that comes with alignment, and it's not to say that this speed is chaotic. It's to say that this speed is appropriate. There's a speed that comes when there isn't like blocks in the way. There isn't this stagnation because you're so focused on just being in alignment that there's a certain speed that comes with that, an appropriate speed. It's like the example that's coming through to give a kind of like a human experience of this is like there's certain speed limits for different kinds of roads. Like if you're in a neighborhood versus the highway, there's different speeds that are appropriate for that situation, that environment. So that's what this speed is referring to, is like the alignment and what's appropriate for you in your environment, in your experience. So the speed is as it should be. Very interesting. So, wow, this is what happens when we arrive and just allow the message to come through. Let's expand on this, see what else Spirit wants to add to this conversation, and see how all these symbols and synchronicities come into our next card here. Ooh, that one flipped. Let's get that one. Sometimes I'm amazed how they flip, like in what seems to be like a really tight space, and like the whole card will just do like an entire complete flip. Okay. Whoa. Just the mark making seems so similar in these, just each one very full of multicolored and expressive mark making. And seeing more of like a flower image here, but also like this kind of shape here is kind of referencing this shape here. I don't know if you get that too. Very similar. And then like the movement, it's almost like we don't see the full spiral of this card. And then there's the references to the spirals here as well. And this almost has like, it almost invites your eye around, which again is referencing speed as in movement, motion, like allowing life to flow, allowing your evolvement to take place and unfold, moving from one thing to the next, in an integrative way, not like moving to avoid or bypass something that is triggering or feels uncomfortable. It's moving with and through and integrating and allowing, right? That's a big theme for this message, is the practice of allowing. And with that allowance comes the appropriate speed for the movement that is meant to flow from our lives, for our lives. So the auric field, number 52, that could be significant to you, maybe 1952, or maybe the age 52, or maybe there's another meaning here for you with that. Simplifying down to the number 7. And it is time to call in energy protection to shield, clear, and strengthen your aura. Okay, so let's sit with this a little bit. It's time. The time and the speed, I'm like wondering what the message is coming through for this specifically regarding time and speed. It's like there's the most prominent thing coming through right now is like the fear of not having enough time and in time just flying by. But that goes back to what we were saying before, where this speed is not about chaos. It's not about time slipping out of our fingers without being present. It's about being in the flow, and the speed of the flow is appropriate for how we are integrating in being witness to our own life and experiencing our life. Okay, it's time to call. It's time to call. Who are you communicating with? And this is like referencing your unseen spiritual help. Who are you calling upon? What is that relationship like? Recently, I kind of had an awakening with how I communicate with spirit. And we're here on earth having a human experience. And part of that human experience is really taking responsibility and being the creator, the designer, the artist of your life in that responsibility, to choose, to decide, to discern how you want to be and what you want to do, how you want to express through your life. And so when you communicate with your spiritual team, I really think the message wants to invite you to have that conversation by owning your human experience, by saying, I choose. Let's give an example. I choose to eat nourishing foods that sustain a healthy life. And I'm asking, so this is the call, because I'm choosing that, I'm asking Spirit to assist in aligning with all the resources, all the synchronicities, all of the gifts and blessings that will honor and encourage and empower that choice that I am making, that I have communicated out loud clearly to Spirit. Spirit, I choose nourishing foods that are going to enrich my life. And I'm asking for you to send me blessings, resources, and synchronicities in support of that choice. Do you see and feel and understand the power in that? You owning being the designer of your life, and you being in the practice of opening up to receiving the most aligned life experiences that you can have in honor of that choice you're making. I am in complete allowing right now because I was just like completely not expecting this message, and I'm so lit up by it. Okay. It is time to call in energy protection to shield, clear, and strengthen your aura. So as I'm reading that, I feel like we're being invited to think about protection in an aligned way versus a defensive way. So just the example that I gave, I'm choosing this Spirit. I'm choosing healthy foods. And I'm asking you to bring the most aligned experiences along my path that are in support of that. And so you're like focusing on the alignment energy of protection versus the defensiveness with protection. It's a totally different vibe. It's this level of confidence and trust because you're so clear and you've communicated with Spirit what you're choosing for your life. And through that choice, asking for the energy protection, which is the energy alignment. So Spirit is going to bring to you all the things that are in alignment to that versus all the things that you're not focusing on, which is just amazing, which brings us back to here, the appropriate speed of how your life is moving forward along the path of nutritious foods, for example. So in this alignment, in this energetic alignment, it protects from and shields you from, clears you from the things you're not choosing, the things you're not calling in. It just, because you're so focused on what you do want, it naturally is a protector in terms of the defensive part of it. It's a protector for the things you're not choosing, the things you're not calling in, unless they're for your highest good. And that direction is a quicker, this time it is speed, quicker speed to get you on the most aligned path because you needed to have an experience, because from the experience you gain life knowledge and wisdom to align with the highest path. So sometimes the most aligned path we still have to experience, sometimes challenging or triggering things because it is part of the process, because of what we specifically are healing, learning, and growing for what we've asked. Wow. In this kind of focus, this kind of authority to be the creator, to make the choices, and to ask Spirit to support those choices, Oh, talk about strong, magnetic, radiant aura. Oh my gosh. Woo! That feels so powerful. So powerful. So magical. Wow. It's like, what could possibly be here for this message to expand our message, or maybe even to ground this message even more? Because this deck in particular is very connected with nature and the animals. And so let's tune to the wisdom of the natural world to see what is here to expand on for this message. There's in this moment as I'm shuffling, I'm being drawn to the light pink shade of this. It's kind of like a tapestry aesthetic, but this like light pink cording within, or this thread within this tapestry here, and like pink as like the purity of your heart space, and also pink as in new. So like a new way of energetically being, a new way of thinking, a new way of alignment, a new way of seeing the concept, the word of protection, what that means. Like, and then that movement we were talking about in both of these is like the old falling away, clearing out, just releasing it, because now we're aligned with a new way of thinking, a new way of perceiving. Yeah, so that's just what's coming through right now. All right, what does Spirit want us to receive to expand and ground? That's interesting. Both like the breath, expanding and grounding. Expanding and grounding. This message. Woo-hoo. Oh, there's two. Okay, we're open to it. Let's see what we have. I'm actually being called to flip this one first. Oh, wow. The mouse. Rooted contentment. We were just asking how to ground this message in rooted contentment, being content with the choice that we make and how it unfolds, how Spirit excites and delights and challenges us for our highest good, and finding contentment in the experience we're having because we made a choice and we have asked for how we want to be supported in that choice. So let go of your attachment to specific outcomes or circumstances. Find happiness and fulfillment within first, and everything else will fall into place. That's what we're saying. Find happiness and fulfillment by deciding, making a choice. How do you want your life to feel? How do you want your life to look? What kind of experiences do you want to have? Be the creator, visualize it, and then bring it in by aligning and integrating and asking. And through that, find the happiness and fulfillment. It's that appropriate speed of flow within you. This heart is coming back up here within you, within your tender heart, within what is true and honest and what you desire to have and experience in this life. And once you do that and find that alignment, everything else will fall into place. Good fortune will fall into place. And it's the good fortune that is like within your heart, what you define as good fortune. So let go of your attachment to the specific outcomes or circumstances, which is kind of what we were talking about at the beginning. Letting the old ways, the old thoughts of how to receive delight, receive reward, to maybe let that attachment to that idea, just like, what if you just let it go and say, you know what, this can actually be an experience of ease, delight, even when the challenges and triggers come along, being in a space of observation and witness and curiosity of what is this here to teach me? What resource of wisdom is it providing by having this experience? So let go of your attachment to specific outcomes or circumstances and find happiness and fulfillment within first, and everything else will fall into place. Fall. You have to let things fall, so things fall out of your energy so things can fall into place. Thank you, little mousy, for the message here. And let's see who else is here to give us insight. Wow, the Highland Ox. Look at these energies. Just the scale and the size of the reality of these creatures, being very grounded and having a unique perspective close to the ground, and then also very grounded, but a totally different perspective and I'm just the largeness of this creature, the demand, it's almost as if there's strength in making the choice. I've decided this and I'm standing my ground. I'm not gonna be so wishy-washy and flip-flop where I'm going, what I want, and being so confused. I'm making a choice, standing my ground, bold confidence. And then I'm going to ask Spirit to support this choice. Let go of self-doubt and fear, right? Let go of the old ways. If you're in a space where you're not really feeling content, then it's time to let those old ways out, because continuing those old ways aren't going to get you what you desire. So let go of self-doubt and fear, because those haven't been working out very good for you in terms of how content you are with the life you're experiencing. This is an invitation to step, again, reference to movement, to move forward, to step into your power. Your power is your choice. Your power is your voice. What do you want? How are you going to use your free will to decide how you want to create the life you want? It's an invitation to step into your power and trust in your abilities. Let the self-doubt go. Trust in your abilities. There's good fortune when you trust in that. So make the choice and ask for Spirit to support it. Wow. There is just so much to receive. And I feel like there are specifically messages threaded throughout this whole message that are speaking to very specific people who are going to receive this message. So I feel really grateful for just being so open to receive this message, so that we can allow who needs to hear the specific concepts and phrases and examples to let it be a catalyst for aligning in this way, making a choice, asking to be supported in it, and feeling content and going at the appropriate speed. It's like you have found your confidence. You found your confidence. Now go and live your best life. Wow. Thank you so much for joining me for this unique message. May today's message continue to support and guide you throughout your day. Blessings and namaste.